Fair West work, 8:26. Feeling a little bit more grounded back in Albuquerque. I've recorded a couple of videos, but not sure which ones actually make it out to the internet, despite the fact that I'm in control of this process. Had a few failed uploads, so hopefully I'm not being redundant in what I say. I've got 9 more minutes available before I have to go. Deal with some agenda creation stuff for the neighborhood association. Fair West work, what's happening? Lots of conversations with people on the street, around in the neighborhood, certainly along Domingo in Madera, Domingo in La Veta, Domingo in Valencia. It's tough to cover more territory, or maybe not tough. It's a learning process, gauging when I need to take breaks, trying not just to get numbers, but to have a reason for the interaction. It's a little bit more long-term vision. So speaking with people outside of vacant properties who are camped out on the sidewalk, hanging out on the sidewalk, sometimes like using substances, sometimes not. Talking to them about safe outdoor spaces, getting a better understanding of whether they know about the concepts, their openness to the idea of it, talking about some of the rules that would be imposed and the background check, and looking into criminal history, behavioral expectations when you're on the site, aspirations that they have, community engagement and volunteer time, picking up trash, doing outreach in the surrounding area. There's a lot of the vast majority of people who I've been speaking to, of a sample size that's pretty small, let's say 10 to 20 people thus far. There is certainly interest in an idea, in knowing more, and when I ask, would you participate by trying to be a resident at a place like this, where you could stay for a period of time, let's say up to 2 years, try and involve them in the process, talk about how this is, like what we could make of it, asking what their aspirations are, what their interests are, how those could be supported along the way, whether that's focused on recovery from substance use or with substance use, reconnecting with family, all sorts of things. Are they open or already participating in different programs, AA, NA, religious, not religious? I'm trying to get a feel for who might be the clientele. At the same time, talking to the property owners, like Ram, who owns property down by Domingo in Madera, learning about what the costs involved would be for the properties, what the red flags are from a property owner standpoint as to whether or not I could lease a space to do this, or if I could buy a space, a real estate contract to be able to conduct this business. I'm going to find out more about some of the details tomorrow when I visit New Creations Safe Outdoor Space, the Refuge. Talk to the pastor there. I was trying to make a video earlier, and in the video I remarked to myself that I haven't spoken to the owner of the potential property over at Coachdean, Indiana, and I had sent an email that I should make a call or send a text, and as I was saying that, I got a call from her. It's good to reconnect, and so we talked more about the details, talked about the budget that I've been putting together, confirmed some sort of ballpark numbers, talked about different steps moving forward. The conversation continues. She's open, I'm open. Gonna get some, hoping to get the documentation that New Creation put together for their safe outdoor space application, and review that, see what it looks like, see if it differs from what I have in mind, what impact that would have on financing, and so things like how do they handle security requirement. I know about the bathroom situation. I know about hand washing stations. They have a connection for an outreach provider on site who comes by, and I think there is some Medicaid funding that pays for that independently of the church having to obtain it. Is that provider open to taking on a second site, or do we need to build capacity for that in some other way? 24/7 security, what does that mean? How do they afford it? Um, what else? Insurance, what type of insurance did they have to obtain? Who insures them? How much? What did that do to their standard operating procedures, their guidelines? What impact does that have? All sorts of questions. Neighbors asking me to watch a dog. Maybe. I don't know if I could keep the dog at my house. Could I? We'll see. We'll see. So, cell phones are distracting in a good way. All right, I got 3 minutes to go. What else did I do today? For Fair West work, put up some flyers for the Fair West work walking workshops. I seem to like W's. So those will be starting up soon. I'll be hopefully wandering around and not just by myself as much, but have a growing kind of rotation of people who maybe we don't always walk together, but we have a growing mutual understanding, from a couple of times where we do get to walk together and really get to share ideas and share and spread some inspiration between what they are trying to put their energy into, what I'm trying to put energy into, and where those two possibly overlap. And if they don't know directions to put their energy into, keep saying that, some ideas, offering some ideas and seeing if there are opportunities within the neighborhood, for them to display, sort of like express their own interests, take advantage of their skill sets, and do something. What would that mean? Maybe that would mean, there could be an art outlet to it. It's very much neighborhood association style interests, but instead of doing it in big groups, which I find, personally, feels like if you got 7 people and it's like, all right, where's your passion? Find a thing. What do you want? That is kind of interesting, but I think I'm often left dissatisfied from those interactions. Like, no, I want to say a concrete thing that I'm going to do and see if I can get other people to do it with me. So perhaps I just need to get a little bit more bold in those situations. But I also think there's real value in, having that conversation differently in smaller groups out in the field. Draw inspiration from walking around what you see and putting that into action plans. Getting up to 10 minutes. That's walking workshops. They'll be rolling along. Or I might just be walking by myself. But I'm getting a little bit more bold, spreading the word, telling people, asking people, describing it to people. They'll nod along and be like, "Yeah, that's good. I know you've been talking about this forever." And then, "Hey, do you want to come? Do you want to walk along with me? Do you want to?" It doesn't have to be a walk. We can do a ride. We can do a sit at a coffee place. But I think walking workshop through the neighborhood puts us in the right context for how the kind of geographic scope and social challenges and sort of confrontation of the more difficult problem areas of the neighborhood and of society that we're trying to target. Have a little ambition. That's it. 11 minutes. Damn it. Goodbye.